Hello, my Teaserking family, back for more. Now, this will be economics. I can, tell you what the baseball picks were if you don't want to go on to the baseball into my sports video. Um, but this will be the economics class. So we're testing this out. Is it better to do two classes, one sports and one economics versus one big one? And we will see. We will we'll see if the free market likes it. It's funny though. I'll show eBay here with the coins and the cards and the Rolexes is much more economics than sports actually. All right, we can see the derivatives today, and that a little came at about 11 o'clock from 25.25 down to 25.09. So it went down $16, went back up, and then went down another $10, and now it's fighting back 25.13. Silver 29.44. So what ends up happening, and pardon me while I eat my nectarine, there's a lot of buying yesterday and Friday, and popped it up to 2,500. It was up $25 this morning, and then the U.S. gets in about 10 o'clock, and they start hitting it down. God knows what reason. I mean, what the U.S. is doing with these derivatives is absolutely insanity. The demand's huge, so the price is going up. Why would you bet the price to go down? I guess they like getting called on it and then having to come up with the gold at market rates. From our perspective, though, it's stayed above 2,500. So it's tested. It was 24.98 at 2 in the morning, and then sharply back up to 24.29 when Asia closed, and Europe didn't do much damage. The U.S. tried a little bit. I don't know what they're doing, but okay. And that's leading to a 25.13 right now. So you're still trying, but not as much damage, or people are not allowing that big $70, $80 drop like we got when it went from 24.89 to 23.69, and panic setting in, going, oh shit, where's it going? See, now you feel a lot better going, okay, they took their shot. It's still in the 25s. We can probably see 26 by Friday. I love the questions. Well, is there going to be profit taking? Is it going to go down? Look out, be careful, gold's going down. All these stupid idiots. When people don't understand things, they say stupid things. They don't understand this is just derivatives driving the price. It's being set. There's people buying from the derivatives. China and India and Russia are saying, I want to take delivery. So you have to deliver the gold that you're playing the game with on COMEX. But this is never anybody selling an ounce of gold or really buying an ounce of gold. It's just taking delivery of the derivatives or selling the derivatives. So when it goes down from 25.29 to 25.04, it's nobody's selling an ounce of gold. Even if they did, it wouldn't show up here. This is just strictly derivatives and options. This has got nothing to do with the free market or nothing to do anybody selling or buying an ounce of gold. Which really makes no sense. And it's even funny when somebody's talking about price fixing. I was listening to that yesterday. How clueless the guy is. This is price fixing. And it's gone to 2,500 now, being price fixed. But you can't just nail it with the price. Well, we're gonna make gold $100. You can't do that. God knows they tried. because it's worldwide. It's not a US thing. In US, you can say, okay, Coca-Cola, we're going to sell at the grocery stores for 99 cents. And then Coke will go out of business because they can't. Well, they won't sell in America. They'll be the rest of the world selling it at the 290 that they need to sell it at. But it won't be, you can't price. I mean, look at Venezuela's price fixing. There's nothing on the shelf. Nobody's making anything in Venezuela. They might make it and sell it here. But you can't do price fixing. It never works because it's always got to be free market. And as I said, if I make in Canadian Club and it costs me $20, I can sell it for 30. I make $10 profit. I'll make it. But if you price fix it at $10 and it costs me 20 now, so you've changed my whole parameters from costing me 20 selling it for 30 to now costing me 20 selling it for 10, or costing me 30 and selling it for 10. Well, we're going to sell it so you can afford it. That's not how it works. That's why you do substitute and things like that. For what I weigh, let me talk to John. Anyway, so price fixing, you can't price fix because the guy will not make it. So that's what you got to understand. So price fixing, how does price fixing help? It's a two-way street. You can't fuck the manufacturer out of making it by not letting him make profit. This is the problem with price fixing. And why communism can't work. Only the market can set the price, not the government. The government cannot set the price for things in the market. It's got to be there's the manufacturer and the buyer. There's Say's law. We make the money, we're supply. We demand a product. The manufacturer makes the product, and if he can make 15, 20% on it, he produces it. If he can't, he doesn't. Competition also allows competition affects the price of what they can charge. So if Canadian Club's selling it for 50 and Seagram's is 45, you're going to buy Seagram's unless you're like me, brand loyal to Canadian Club because that's where I work. So therefore, that's how the market adjusts prices, is by competition, not the government jumping in, because they can't make profit. You're only in business to make profit, right? So, I bought this nice plate in Switzerland. I love this plate. Very pretty. So I was there and I bought it. Now, if it cost them $10 and they sold it for 15, and I said, that's a nice plate, I'll buy it. They're in business. But if you tell them you can only sell it for $5, but it costs them 10, they won't make it anymore. So it's got to be in their business model to make profits, just like houses and cars and everything else. This is what it costs me to make it. I got to add 20% to sell it, because I'm not going to make it if I only make 2% on it. I'll just put my money in CDs, or if you're really smart, you put your money in gold. And that would be how it works. So you cannot have price fixing. It doesn't work because you've got to make sure the company makes their money. So you'd have to call all the companies. Okay, GM, what's it cost for this? What can we price fix it at? And that's why I can never work for gold and silver, because it's a worldwide product where things sold in the US is one thing, but things sold in the whole world, you can't price fix gold. Like I say, they're trying. So 25.15, we're making our move up. Hey, Patty. China and India are loading up on metals because of the price fixing. Well, and Russia too. Don't forget the Russian guys. Well, that's the whole point. We're keeping it price fixed. And they're buying it, taking advantage of the price fixing. So how can you price fix it? The idea was so we couldn't make money on it, right? So I bought it at 1,600 and now it goes to 4,000. Well, they don't want me to make money on it. So they're going to lower the price to 1,500. Well, like you say, you can't do it because the rest of the world will buy it for the 1,500, but it's selling at 3,000. It doesn't make sense. You can't do it. What they're going to do is tax us when we sell it. And then he brought up, well, if you go to Switzerland, you can't sell it there. And I'm like, sure you can. What are you talking about? I've already done it. I've already sold it in Europe. What the fuck are you talking about? I remember first time I met Jenna, I got her a nice necklace, and then she went to the pawn shop and sold it. How could you do that? She said, I needed the money. So, okay. But don't tell me I can't sell something in another country. This guy's either drunk or just too stupid to be doing a show. See, he's clueless. And then he was talking about bartering. And again, he's clueless. No. Bartering is about if there is no money or black market, I will sell gold for, food. But then he thought it was by weight. No, it's by value. If it's an ounce of gold is not the same as a quarter ounce of gold. It's worth a whole lot more. So it depends on the item. If it's, you barter it for the same price. Guy wasn't very bright. He thinks he is, but it's like, you can't go to Switzerland. They won't, why not? They'll take my gold. It's not hard. I've traveled with it. It's not hard to get on the plane with it. It's not hard to get off the plane with it. Hey, Pat. So 25.15, roll, gold, roll. Okay. Silver, 29.45. We know it's having difficulty. Now, what did we get? We've got new members joining Brixie. So we know there's 159 new members joining BRICS, but I watched the video today. It says there's 6 powerful nations joining BRICS, but it was like 42. Where is that? I must not have loved it. I don't know. I was watching. Maybe it is this 6 new members. Let me listen to this.
My mother recently passed away unexpectedly. It destroyed my family. Thankfully, she was able to give us 40 implications for global power dynamics. The 21st century has witnessed a seismic shift in the global order. Emerging economies are asserting themselves on the world stage. They demand a greater voice and influence in international affairs. BRICS, an acronym coined in 2001.
Okay, we know what I can't handle this anymore. I know what the acronym is.
It stands for Brazil, Russia.
Gotcha.
Have become engines of global growth. They are major players in international trade and investment. The rise of BRICS signifies a move away from a unipolar world. It reflects the growing desire for a more multipolar system, one where power is more evenly distributed among nations. This shift has profound implications for global governance. It necessitates a reassessment of existing institutions and norms. BRICS. Nations are increasingly vocal in their calls for reform. The 2024 BRICS Summit in Johannesburg, South Africa, marked a pivotal moment in the bloc's history. The group announced a historic expansion, welcoming 6 new members. This move signals a growing appeal of the BRICS platform. Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates joined the ranks of BRICS. The inclusion of these diverse economies demonstrates.
So we knew about, so there's 12. Saudi Arabia was on the fence, but I think they're in because they just told the U.S. to fuck off. But there was more at the summit, and I can't find that. There's like 22 joining. I don't know. I'm hearing 22, and then I'm hearing 59. I'll try to find that one, but there's basically, I think 22 new, between 22 and 59 joining in October. I'll try to get better information on that. In China, there's a couple airlines
1 year,
leaving.
starting from October 26th. Last month, BA also suspended one of its 2 daily flights from London to Hong Kong for 1 year. However, in its official email to the travel industry, BA clarified that it would continue offering daily flights to Shanghai and Hong Kong, emphasizing that the changes only apply to flights scheduled between November 2024 and November 2025, with ongoing evaluations of the flight schedules. Earlier, there were reports that BA was dissatisfied with the profitability of the Beijing route and was planning to adjust it. Contrary to many people's expectations of reduced flights, British Airways decided to suspend all of its 4 weekly flights to Beijing altogether. The reason for the suspension is the low number of passengers. According to insiders, the recovery of business passengers on BA's London-Beijing route has been poor, with numbers only reaching 30% to 50% of pre-pandemic levels depending on the season. In the Q1 2024 earnings call, BA's parent company IAG already pointed out the weak demand from China and attributed it to a decline in revenue per kilometer in the Asia-Pacific region. Additionally, the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war has increased operating costs for many international airlines. Since Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, Western airlines have been banned from flying over Russian airspace, forcing them to take longer routes, which has increased flight times and raised fuel and crew expenses. This has squeezed profit margins and reduced passengers' desire to purchase tickets. In contrast, Chinese airlines can still fly over Russia, giving them a commercial advantage. Last month, Virgin Atlantic also announced plans to cancel its only flight routes going to China starting in October. The airline stated that the significant.
So anyway, we get that. That's just economics. You got less demand, you get less profit, you don't do it. So I don't know if they're pulling out. I assume they're pulling out because there's no demand to travel to China or these routes because of the war. Pat, some banker friend told me he sold his gold because it's overbought. Yeah, how hard did you laugh at him, Pat? Is he still your banker friend, or are you ever going to take him serious when it comes to banking, finance, or economics? This is how I'm able to buy my gold, is idiots like this guy who is selling it because he thinks it's overbought. This is not a stock. So is this overbought or oversold or over and under? this is what's overbought, and this is what the inflation is, and this is what it's worth zero. So Pat, ask him what he thinks inflation is, and ask him what he thinks about the dollar, and get Austrian on him, and you'll see how stupid he really is. And he's the one running the banks, but this is the problem with people. They don't understand. So it's driven up, but they don't know why it went up. It went up because the dollar's going up. He doesn't understand that. How can the dollar go out? And then you say, well, how did the Roman Empire disappear? How could the Romans go out of all the countries? How could Rome go out? How could Greece go out with Zeus and Apollo? I mean, talk about you had a good team behind you. This is the problem. People are looking at the price. They don't understand it's paper. They don't understand what physical is. They think this is the real price based on supply and demand. Say's law, it's got nothing to do with it. This is based on derivatives, and it is not bought. It's about to go to the moon because everybody's buying it to get out of the dollar. So he misses the most basic concept. You wonder how he's a banker. Anyway, so BRICS Summit, there was one in Singapore. God, I can't believe I can't find that video. Where the fuck did I see it? Anyway. Not sure. Let me look at this Egon one. Maybe he says it. I know somebody said there's like 22 new ones joining. I watched the Egon short.
Why don't they kick these leaders out? Whoever's running the latest World Economic Forum, the UK, they keep voting in are worse and worse. You know, all the leaders in Europe, why aren't they kicking them out?
Many years ago, I said that the political system will be in constant turmoil because the economic situation that I saw coming will actually mean that leaders will always be voted out, and often long before the term is over. Remember, leaders are never voted in. They're always voted out. People are unhappy with existing leaders and always hope that the next one is going to be better, which it never is. And then the next one will be voted out. And we will see a lot of political turmoil in Europe, and I'm sure in the US that will come too, starting with the midterm election.
Why don't they kick these leaders?
All right. I don't know where. Let me see. Maybe they say.
If you're a senior with Medicare Parts A and B, listen up. This is an important announcement.
Join the ranks of
Anyway, I know I saw one that's at 22, but I don't know where it is. Usually what I do when I see that is I put it in my liked videos, and then I go to liked and I go, there it is. But I don't see it in my liked videos. Unless it was Douglas McGregor. So Douglas McGregor is saying how Russia's won the war and you can't beat them, and they have the air and they have all the defense, and look out. Anyway, so BRICS is up to 12, but they're going to be 22 for the summit in St. Pete next month. And I guess we're looking for 159 countries eventually jumping on to get out of the dollar. Pat, I know him well. There's no way he will understand, as he is completely brainwashed. Well, and then that explains why most of the people in the U.S. are brainwashed, how do you explain, how do you teach what I'm teaching to people who are brainwashed? This is the problem. I have no idea how to explain gold any clearer than I do now for people to understand. How is it over? All you can really do is say, based on what? So you go to him, gold because it's overbought. Based on what? Is there a certain, level and it's overbought because it keeps going up? So what's he doing now when it's 25.15? Still overbought? How about when it hits 2,600? Is it still overbought? What's the magic number? And this is the problem. When it hits 10 grand, he's going to have a real shit fit because he's going to realize he fucked up. I don't know how much gold he hits. It's interesting, a banker having gold. He sold his gold. Did he sell all of his gold? Was it 10 ounces or was it 100 ounces? If he sold 100 ounces, this guy's going to be really freaking out soon. Like I said, every $100, so from 2,400 to 2,500, if you had 50 ounces, you made $5,000. So now when it goes from 2,500 to 3,000, it's 500 times 50, it's 25,000, and on and on and on. And this is what people are not getting. But they'll look at the Bitcoin going, oh, Bitcoin's so good. Look at it's 59,000 for one Bitcoin. How many do you have? And then how do you cash out? Oh, you get dollars for it. What are you going to do when the dollar's gone? Oh, I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead. That's what these guys have the problems for. Anyway, what else? So if Kamala Harris wants price fixing, it won't work. It can't work. She's out of her mind, which we know. She's a communist, which we know. Anybody that doesn't allow free market, we don't want to listen to, we don't want to elect, we don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to talk to guys that aren't free market in the hot tub or in my lane or anything. I don't want to talk to people. Even if people come up here and join the class and want to start talking about communism or Bitcoin, I get Bitcoin people, and I just, it's you're playing with fire. It's not, you can see gold going in Bitcoin. What I saw, I think it was 59,000 today at the club. And I love so is he still in stocks? That's 40,000. Talk about something that is way, way overbought. Is he in Amazon? I mean, where's his money as he's about to lose his money? And these are the bankers of the world who don't understand banking. I mean, see, what I'm noticing is most people do not understand economics, and most of the financial people don't understand it. As you're just proving that point, he thinks it's overbought. You must have laughed at him pretty hard. I know I can't hold a straight face when people are in the stock market and not in gold. And I just say, all I say is good luck to you. When it crashes, don't come to me. I'm trying to help you now, but when it crashes, I'm not going to help you. I am sure he sold a lot as he is in the management department. He said it's a great time to buy bonds. Oh my God. And he prefers dividends because we know there's no dividends in gold. It just goes up $100 a week. It's a great time to buy bonds, and he prefers dividends. My jaw dropped and I felt really sorry for him. I love it. He actually said gold doesn't pay dividend. Oh, there you go. That's the communist Keynesian response. But it just went from 2,400 to 2,500. If you had 50 ounces, you just made $5,000. Isn't that your dividend? What an idiot. I mean, this guy, wow. I mean, this is the problem, right? So if you go to a bank, what do you think they're going to tell you to do? Well, buy a mutual fund and buy bonds because you get a dividend. And you, of course, would have said, oh, you got to laugh at him because he thinks he knows what he's doing. That's why you laugh at him. It's one thing when somebody doesn't know and they're listening to an idiot like this, then you feel bad for them. You feel bad for the Madoff people who didn't know Madoff was Ponzi scheming. You don't feel bad for the people who were in Madoff who knew it was a Ponzi scheme. Like if I was in Madoff and I'm like, how are you making your money? And he's not telling me, but I'm getting 15% every month and I'm watching the stock market crash, but he's making money. Yeah, I probably know I'm in a Ponzi scheme, especially if I get 15% every month. That's like me hitting 100% in football games. This is what I warn you. I am not going to hit 100% in football games. I'm going to do very well. Like baseball, I went 5-1 yesterday, but I can't. Maybe once in a while I hit 100%, but it's once in a while, and you can see 5-1, and you can see different days I go different percentages. It's the theory that makes me pick the games, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's not 100%. But if you're consistently getting 15% every month, run. Don't walk. Give me my money, please. Thank you. And go buy gold. That's why you buy gold. And see, really, you've been buying gold and it hasn't really moved a lot. And everybody's like, when's it gonna go? When's it gonna go? Doesn't understand it's price fixed, right? It's comex. They're price fixing. So you don't understand it. Right? Those are the people you cry for because they don't get it. But the people that get it, like this banker, you got to laugh at. He's showing he's an idiot. And I'm sure you tried to like say to him, well, wait a minute, how about, how about the dollar? Or do you think that's going to stick around? And he'll say, oh, it's the petrodollar. We're the reserve currency of the world. And then you might go up and say, well, what happened to Rome? Oh, well, that was the old time. That was Romans. What happened to the French in 1795? What happened to the British in 1910 or whatever, whenever they fell out right after World War One? Well, that was a war. There's always an excuse. But we're the U.S. Nothing happened to our dollar. We can print trillions and trillions and nothing will happen. How about our debt? We owe 36 trillion in debt. Oh, well, we don't have to pay it back. We'll just keep printing money. And then you just walk away and he used to be your friend because he's too stupid to be your friend now. You respected him as a banker. Now you look at him and this guy's an idiot. I mean, ask him those questions and report back to us. But this is the problem people don't get. They just are stupid, but they don't understand they're stupid. They think they understand and they're not. And that's the problem with it. And that's what I have against these people. At least be smart enough to have an open mind and listen. You doing it. You're hearing me. You're new to the class and you get it. You kept your mind open and said, yeah, that makes sense. But invite him to the class and he won't get it. I'll blow him away. He won't get it. I love being challenged because I know I'm right. I mean, I'm not, this isn't an opinion. I'm not guessing maybe or this or that. I know I'm right. So that's why I'm very confident in my thing. And when I hear people disagreeing with me, I just laugh at them going, no, I'm right. I know I'm right. You're wrong. And I proved it 12 ways from Sunday. So I would laugh at him. This guy is high up in the food chain. I lost out. Well, of course you lost. And as most of the bankers you lose respect for. Once you pull the curtain back, you see the wizard, some guy, you laugh at him. Yes, you're right. He actually said we are in modern times now and it's different. How is it different? He has a massive ego, and that's the biggest problem with financial professionals, except for me. I don't have a massive ego. I know I'm right, but I don't have a big ego about it. I'll listen. I'll be happy to explain. You hear me explain it. I don't have a big ego, but this is the problem with the guy. Ask him about the 36 trillion in debt, and let's hear that. I'd love to hear that answer. His circle of friends that we hang out with and drink made fun of me with my pet rock. This that hasn't done shit in years. Well, it's gone from 1,700 to 2,500. That's $800 if you owned 100 If you owned 100 ounces of gold times the 800 ounce, the $800 that's went up, you just made $80,000 in what, two and a half, 3 years? And that's pretty good. And they don't understand it's paper. They don't understand it's derivative and it's fixed. It's not free market. Do they think it's free market? You want to blow them away with that conversation? It ain't free market. But the stocks the stocks aren't even free market. The stocks are fixed the other way. So JP Morgan prints money, puts it into the stock market for Meta and Amazon and Microsoft and and these boys. So that isn't even real. So they're making fake money, but here comes the boom. Here comes the rest of the world saying, I'm out of stocks. I don't trust the dollar. So they don't think the dollar is going to collapse. These are bankers. This is interesting. How do they think it works? Ask them this question. Are you a Keynesian or an Austrian? And don't tell them, just ask them like that and see the answer. I bet you they can't answer. I bet you they have no idea, right? They're all Keynesians, but they don't know they're Keynesians and they can't answer the question. I love that. I talked to a communist in the hot tub. I said, and he starts quoting Karl Marx, and I just start laughing at him like, communists are wrong. They want, he wants the workers to run the business. Well, it can't work. You need a guy running the business. It's like a guy running the football team, right? You need a head coach. You can't win with the players being the coach, right? The coach has to coach. Well, you should have listened to them in 2015 when gold was 1,000. They ridiculed me to death. They don't even know who Keynes is. Yeah, I don't think they do. I don't think they realize that MMT says just keep printing money, nothing can happen, which we all know you can't just keep printing money and nothing happened. If Rolex made 1 million watches, they'd be worth $5. They'd be called Timex. They wouldn't be called Rolex. If why do you think this has a 50 at it? Why do you think this is 41 out of 50 for the Mahomes card and not like Bobby, which doesn't have any numbers on it? Which do you think has more value? Something that they put a 50 on or something with nothing? So why would they put a 50 on it? Because they know if they make it limited, it'll have a value. Same thing with Barry. He's got 100. Why does he have 100? Why is it out of 100? Because they know if it's limited, it's worth more. And you know who came up with that? I did. I was talking to a Beckett guy. He worked for Beckett, but he was a contributor to Beckett, and he was was one of these sellers at the baseball card show. And we were talking, and I said, well, what we need is like a stock market or something that we can see what the prices are, not the price guide. And I said, and we need limited cards. I mean, if there's only 10 or 20 or 30, it's going to be worth a lot more than some things that are that. Next thing I knew, there were cards had numbers on them. They were making limited ones. That was me. That was me at a card show talking to a Beckett guy. Next thing I know, they came out with like 5,000 count cards. Then it was 2,000 count. I have Highland Mint Silver, and they're limited. They are numbered out of like 500 or something. I got to check them out if they're 999 or not. Maybe I'll do that later. I'm a lucky bastard to have found you. Have never met anyone who I can relate to. Thank you, Pat. I appreciate that. Everybody in the class is very thankful to me because I can explain it. See, I have the unique gift of being able to explain what I know instead of just talking gibberish. Mark McGuire, who we listen to, who is a banker, can't explain it. He sits there with the ring fence and, the casino. And you're like, what are you talking about? Now, if anybody can understand Mark McGuire, it's me, right? Forget you guys, but I should be able to understand it. And I'm like, and I've said this on his comment, what the fuck are you talking? What is a ring fence? What are you saying? I mean, because it's not economics, it's not finance. A ring fence, what he actually means is that it just stays in this little circle where Comex sells to themselves and buys to themselves. So it's all been kept in this neat little circle. Just like I'm doing a derivative and you buy it, Pat, and I give you the gold and you give it back to me, or I buy it and you sell it, and it's all between me and you. And all of a sudden the Chinese and the Russians and the Indians have come in and knocked and said, I want the delivery. And now it's not just me and you, and that's why Comex is blowing up, at least the gold part of it. But he can't explain it like that. Hey, Luke, how are you? We're 25-15 today, Luke. I know you'd be happy. We got up to 25-29. I go, wow, we're going to get to 26 really quick. McGuire is talking in technical terms only, trying to explain a ping pong game with derivatives. Yeah, that's the problem. He can't explain it the way I explain it. I take all the bullshit out of it and get you to the point where you can relate to it. All right, what do I tell you? I tell you about Joe Montana's rookie card, and I tell you supply and demand and how the derivative works with Eddie Murphy. I'm giving you examples. You can go, yeah, that makes sense. That I know is a unique gift. I met Luke in the airport in Barcelona, and he overhears me talking, and yet we talked for an hour waiting for the plane. He got it. He didn't sit there. I don't understand what you're talking about. He understood everything I was saying because I made it very clear in a very fifth grade level, like 1 and 1 is 2. And he got not any negative to Luke, but just that's how I talk. 1 and 1 equals 2. And you go, yeah, that makes sense. If you're going to teach, you better, it's your, you have to have the ability so that the student learns. It's on you. It's not on the student. I hate when teachers go, well, I told him and he didn't get it. Well, that's not the student's fault. That's the teacher's fault. Like I said, I used to teach my girls, I have 2 daughters, and they were in, softball, right? 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade softball. I'm coaching. I'm trying to help the girls hit and throw and catch. And you can see when the light goes on, and you can see when they don't have a clue what you're talking about. And so I said to myself, I got to teach differently to this girl so she understands how to hit versus this other girl who gets it, right? So that's kind of where I learned it from. But yeah, it's critical. And I notice it at jobs, how stupid the managers are. They don't get it. They don't try to teach. I don't know what they're doing there. They're not managers. They're just idiots at most companies. I think my problem, I was thinking about this, I'm a lot smarter than all the managers I work for. And that is why I go through job after job, because I can't take it. They're too stupid for me. So I need a like this where I'm teaching and I can explain things. Luke bought another ounce today. Good boy. 26.59, didn't pay with card. Hey, Luke, glad to have you here. Coaching 1st grade baseball and 1st grade and 3rd grade softball in my life now. Well, that's a lot of fun because the kids, 1st grade, I found that the girls' softball was much more exciting and better to coach than the boys. The girls want to learn and they're more emotional, and it was really a better time for me. Although I have 2 daughters, so I didn't coach baseball, but the softball, I really liked, helping. Well, I like helping anyway, but I really, watch their eyes. And now there's one thing I'll teach you about teaching a girl to hit. I had a girl who 6th grade and she didn't know how to hit. She's looking at her bat. So she's watching the bat. So I'll do this. She's watching the bat, not the ball. I says, watch the ball and just look at the ball and hit it. Don't look at the bat. So all of a sudden she started looking at the ball and she started hitting. And she's in 6th grade. You wouldn't think, you'd have thought somebody would have helped her with that. And then she starts hitting, and then she was happy she could hit. I taught one girl how to pitch. This was 7th grade. She wanted to pitch. And you got to understand pitching. It's about opening your shoulder, doing the wheel. This is girls' fast pitch, and then closing your shoulder and then snapping at the hip. Well, they don't understand opening and closing the shoulder, which is what we would do in tennis or golf or baseball. But you don't realize it until you kind of go through the pitch and you realize, oh, I got to open to snap the ball, I got to open my shoulders. And then as it's nearing my hip, I close the shoulders for the lift. And then I'm snapping it at my hip. I can't snap it at my shoulder. It'll go through the roof, or I can't snap it at my ankles. It'll go into the ground. So I've got to like snap it right at my hip. And it took me 2 months to learn how to pitch. We put a net in the backyard, and I'm pitching into the net, and it was difficult because I could pitch hardball, but not softball. So good for you, Luke, with another ounce. So if you can get to 50 ounces, Luke, and I don't know where you're at, every $100 you make 5,000. Did you do that in Bitcoin? No, you just kind of looked at the Bitcoin number. Oh, it's at 40,000. It's at 60,000. But here you get a multiplier. You got 50 ounces. Every $100 you're making $5,000. And that's pretty good. So we got brics adding 6 new members. We know about 22 that I watched in some video that I don't know if it's Douglas McGregor's video or what, but I heard that today. 22 new members joining brics in September at the St. Petersburg, and it'll be ready for October. But October, they are ready. And then 159 countries total will join brics because the gold-backed currency apparently is ready to go. So apparently in October, it goes live. And you'll have, 22 countries on it and 159 in total salivating to get out of the U.S. dollar. Now, as we know, and tell your bank friend there, Pat, when there's no demand, there's no value. So, Luke, we were talking about Pat. Pat has a bank friend who sold his gold because it's overbought. And when we got done laughing at him, he says, well, I'm in T-bills because I get dividends and I need dividends. And gold doesn't give you dividends. No, gold goes up $100 in 2 weeks. And if you own 50 ounces, you just made $5,000. It's like, and it doesn't go down. And when the dollar goes out, how are your T-bills? And by the way, how are you going to get paid for your T-bills? There's 36 trillion in debt. Who the fuck? How are you going to get your money out? 36 trillion in debt. Okay, I'm going to buy T-bills because I get a 3% dividend. And okay, so when it expires in 5 years, if there's even money left, because there won't be dollars, how are you going to get paid? You think you're going to go to the front of the line? They're going to pay you, even though they owe 36 trillion to China and Russia and India and Japan. They owe all these countries. That's the debt. People are buying the debt of the countries. How are they going to pay them? We know China's going out. We know the UK's in big trouble, riots. The Muslims are taking over. We know France is in trouble going out. Germany's in trouble. Italy's in trouble. Japan with their fake dollars. Greece has gone out. Sri Lanka, trouble. Pakistan, trouble. Venezuela, 600,000% inflation. And that's with prices. So God knows what the real inflation number is. It's coming here. I mean, we can't just sit here like idiots going, well, that's not the U.S. Who the fuck do you think we're dealing with? They're the ones buying our debt and we owe, and they got dollars that are all coming back. How did it go bankrupt if they're on U.S. dollars? Pat, the whole point about stacking now is to get through a revaluation of some potential paradigm shift. No, that's not why I stack, but okay, let me read everything. My banker friend can't be rescued. No, he's going to go broke. I wouldn't want to have any money in his bank. Tell him to, come on here and we'll have a special guest called the Dunce in the Corner. We'll give him a little dun chat and we'll have him answer the question, are you Keynesian or an Austrian? Which he won't be able to answer because he has no idea. And gold's overbought. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That's like saying Rolex is overbought. Well, I have a Rolex and it was 60,000, but it went up to 70. So I'm going to sell it because it's overbought. Dude, you own a Rolex. It's not overbought. They don't make a whole lot of them. It ain't overbought. Luke, gold, silver backed stable coins coming to XRP blockchain ledger. This is big news for trading gold-backed cryptos. I'll be buying some Ripple. Pressure, you should research that. I'll be happy to research it, Luke. I prefer having the physical because I don't want Larry Fink controlling it. So there's a gold Bitcoin was what you're saying. Who's going to run it? Who has the gold? And how is it manipulated would be my questions. Because if it goes off the COMEX price, that's not real. So again, how is it priced? And then how do you get it? Right? Well, wait a minute. I want, I bought 10 ounces of it. How do I get my 10 ounces? So it's stuff like that I'd like to know. Pat, the worst is that he knows someone who got screwed with the collapsed Credit Suisse bonds, but now he's getting government bonds because it's the safest, according to him. Oh my God. Luke, this is a banker, so this is insanity. Looks like it will be the official custodian ledger for countries paying peer-to-peer. Well, they're going to use BRICS is going to use, it'll be the blockchain. So when China wants to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, they're going to do a transfer, right? So, okay, so it's on the block. Here's $1 billion for the oil. Okay, yeah, I get that, but the people will still be will have the dollars. Like Dario will have this. It'll be a ruble, but it'll be a gold-backed BRICS. Or maybe it won't be a ruble. It'll be a BRICS currency. So there'll be BRICS for the public, and there'll be the blockchain for the big oil buys or the energy buys or whatever. Sort of like what it is now, I imagine. I've done a lot of finance work, so I know if you own a customer, you pay them with a transfer, right? I'm going to wire the money into your account. There's no difference. There's nothing different than what we're doing now. You're doing it on a blockchain. Well, guess what? I have a general ledger, which is exactly the same thing that says I just paid Pete's Barbecue for ribs and I wired the money in and I got the ribs. There's no difference at all. A blockchain is just a general ledger. So it's not like it's not like something that's never been there. It's very common. Every company has a general ledger, as you know. You do it with tennis when if you got a vendor and you need 100 tennis rackets because you're going on the trip, how do you think you pay them? You're wiring them the money. It's the same thing if it's a blockchain or a just regular general ledger. That's exactly what's happening. Luke, no, it's a transaction cryptocurrency that will be used for trading gold between countries for BRICS. Yeah, that's what I just said. Well, that's how they do it now. I mean, a cryptocurrency, what do you think they're using when when the BRICS gold backed currency comes out, what do you think that is? I mean, it's the same thing. Calling it a cryptocurrency versus something that gets wired. They won't be using SWIFT, let's put it that way, but it's the exact same thing. I'm buying 100 ounces of gold bars from China and you're wiring them the money. You can call it a cryptocurrency. You can call it a BRICS gold backed currency. It's the same thing. But that, what do you think the whole thing is with the BRICS gold backed currency? What do you think that is? It'll be digital in the trades for gold and the trades country to country. That's the point of it. There'll still be dollars for the people who want BRICS dollars. They will still have it to go to the store and buy food. They're going to use the currency. They're going to use this. This will just be BRICS instead of euro. I mean, that's what they're doing in Zimbabwe. So for the big transactions, you're using whatever digital, same as you're doing now. And for the other ones, you got the paper. I mean, that's nothing new. Crypto. See, the problem with crypto, nobody wants Bitcoin. You can't go get your ribs. If we go to Capitol Grill, we can't use Bitcoin there. However, in the BRICS world, are we going to be able to use the BRICS currency to buy dinner? Probably not. We'll probably still need this to go to Capitol Grill. The Capitol Grill in Russia will need that. But yeah, I mean, it's all the same. They can call it crypto, but it doesn't matter. It's a seamless way to pay for things, just like you're doing a wire. There's no difference between doing a wire. If you want to wire your supplier for tennis rackets versus using your credit card, right? I just sent Jenna money today. I used my debit card on RIA. Okay, how is that different than crypto? It's not. It's the same thing. A ledger. I got my receipt. So I'm on the ledger. That the real ledger where Rio saying, okay, Howard, you paid, you gave Jenna money so she can eat in Berlin. All right. So there's no difference. People are making too much out of this. There's no difference. Yes, it's good. It's gold back. That will hold its value. And again, like when I hear Egon talk and he says, oh, it's the only currency that's held its value. He never understands why. It's because you can't print it. Gold can't be printed. It can't be copied. That's why it's around. It's just like a Rolex. The Rolex will be around 5,000 years because they make very small of them and the demand is there for Rolex, like there's a demand for gold. Why is there a demand for gold? Because we know it's limited and they can't fuck around. Why is there a 50 count Mahomes card? Because people know, oh, if there's only 50, it'll keep its value because we want to buy and invest in things that are limited that will keep their value. That's the problem with Bitcoin. It won't keep its value and you can't use it. So why do I want to own it? What's backing it? Nothing. At least here, I own the card. I have the card. I don't have a Bitcoin. I don't know what it is. It's digital crap. It's a spreadsheet or whatever it is. And to call the blockchain a general ledger is not anything new. So people just don't. It's like people not understanding. They don't want to own gold because it's overbought, and they want to buy bonds for the dividends. Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah, the guy gets dividends as the dollar goes to zero, so that'll really help him out. Unbelievable. These are guys running banks. We wonder why there's all these financial crises. Bunch of fucking idiots. Yeah, I mean, looks like it'll be the official custodian ledger for countries paying peer-to-peer. Well, it's no different than a wire right now. I think we could see gold. I think we could see gold at 3,000 in the next 30 days. Oh, there's no question. The U.S. is just about done playing the game. You can see these derivatives this week they go down $10. They're not going to let it slide 70, 80 like it did a couple weeks ago. And that's when the things were done, right? The options expired August 25th or September 20 or July 25th. So you might see a little bit more at expiration date, but now you're not. Now it keeps jumping up and up. Only an idiot would would short gold. Well, you should ask the banker if he's shorting gold because it's overbought. Make him a bet, Pat. Tell him you want odds. Say, I want 100 to 1 odds. I think gold will hit 3,000 on the comex. And he'll bet you in 5 seconds. And then, then your next bet is, I bet you the dollar goes to 0. And he'll bet you on that. And you'll be a rich man on these bets, betting this idiot. If he has any money left, because he won't, all his money will be worthless. Just like Warren Buffett, his $2 billion won't be worth, they'll be monopoly money. Luke, I have 2 best friends. Did you spell 2 wrong? One who works for PNC selling mortgage-backed securities. Oh my God. And another Bank of New York Mellon selling funds. Okay, I'm interested in this story. Both have drank the Fed Kool-Aid. Yeah, that's what Pat was saying about his banker buddy. Because they don't understand economics. As I told Pat, ask these guys if they're Keynesians or Austrians. Don't say economics. Just say, are you a Keynesian or are you an Austrian? They won't know how to answer it. And then they're idiots. Well, this is the problem. This is why you had the 2008 banking crashes, the mortgage-backed securities, giving loans to people that couldn't afford to pay it back, that weren't even working or had bad credit. How are you expecting them when the interest rates to go up to pay off the loans? It's not going to happen. So they don't know what inflation. Ask them what inflation is. And they'll say prices, and you'll laugh at them and go, it's the printing of the money. That's the official Austrian definition. Inflation is printing the money to 0. Then the effect is the money loses its value because you got too much of it. Sort of like Barry's card or Bobby's card. There's no number on it. There's too many printed. It's worthless. But yet the Mahomes is only 50 will have a value because the less you print, the more they're worth, like gold, like Rolex, like PSA 9 mantle cards that there's very few of, or Jordan rookies or Montana rookies. There's very few of them. Look at the price. And that's the whole point of it. So inflation is not prices going up. And, people that think it's the CPI or any of that shit. When I hear that, I just turn off whoever I'm listening to when they're that stupid. When they don't get that premise, I get like a headache going, I can't listen to this shit. And what I'm finding as I go through my YouTubes to try to find something for class, these guys are dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber. Andy Scheckman and Reichert and Rule and all these, they're fucking idiots. They're clueless. Andy Scheckman, I'm a nice guy and this. Well, great, but you don't know anything about economics. You're a fucking idiot there. Stop pretending you know. You're a salesman, and we all know you're a salesman. You're trying to sell your gold. We get it. Don't tell me that's not why you're doing it. But you care, and you're trying to teach people. You're not teaching anybody shit because you don't know shit. I'm sorry, you don't get it. Now, I'd be happy to teach you, but you don't have the balls to join the class. That's your problem, not mine. So you can learn if you want, if you're smart enough, but you're not smart enough. And the problem is you think like the banker. This is the problem with all these guys, just like the banker. He thinks he knows and he doesn't, but he won't admit he doesn't know. So he sells his gold for T-bills. And all you can do is laugh at him and go, this guy's a fucking moron. And like you said, Pat, it destroys the whole relationship because you don't have any respect for this guy because you know the truth now. And he doesn't, but he pretends to because he's running a bank, going into T-bills, watching them go to zero. How are you going to get paid back when the government has 36 trillion in debt? We just ignore that. Oh, okay. Luke, one thing, she knows everything, but I also think school is a pet rock. They will eventually see one boast his 300K cash savings and multi-million. Eventually, one boasts his 300K cash savings and multi-million 401K, etc. Yeah, I told the guy riding the bike next to me the other day, and I said, "Oh, do you have any gold?" No, I got all my money in my pension. He didn't say how much. And then I said, "You realize it's going out. You need to buy gold." No, I'm fine in my pension. So when I left, he said to me, "Well, I'll see you in the soup kitchen line, the line at the soup kitchen." And I said, "No, I'm in gold. I won't be in that line." And the look on his face, he turned white because I think he's starting to realize that I do know what I'm talking about. But you got to be kidding. This dollar is gone. I mean, it's lost 99% of its value. You cannot save it. The only way you can save it is with gold. But with all these countries joining BRICS now, they're de-dollarizing. They don't want the dollar. And the biggest thing I teach in the class, if I can't sell it, if I want to sell this and nobody wants to buy it, it has no value. Only if somebody's willing to buy it does it have a value. Well, nobody wants the dollars. Nobody's buying the debt. We're buying our own debt. Everybody's de-dollarizing because they don't want to get sanctioned. And all the dollars are coming back because they're going, I don't need it. So then they go to their bank and they exchange it for their own dollars and run to the gold store. All of Africa wants to go gold back. You got 159 countries wanting to join BRICS to get gold back currency. I mean, seriously, what the fuck? But the best way is to own the physical, not the paper, not the stocks, not the IRAs. Again, there was that YouTube where these people are getting scammed because they're moving their IRA into a gold IRA. And then the depository never gets it. And the guy's all upset. And I'm like, dude, you got to just sell it, take the money, buy the gold, put it in your hands, put it in your safe, and guard the safe with your life every day. And then, you have it and nobody can fuck you. But if you keep putting it into these paper ETFs, wait till everybody realizes that the ETFs are a scam. And they'll call the Stroud guy and go, I want my gold. Well, I don't have it. There's no gold in it. It's a scam. We determine the ETF price by the gold price, but there's no gold in the ETF. You're not getting an ounce of gold out of your ETF. But what they do, they made off you and they make you think you are. And wait till the stocks crash. Holding a bond is the stupidest thing in the world because you'll never get paid back, depending on who the bond's with. You've got the commercial real estate crisis. Nobody can afford to pay back the banks. You get the housing and car crisis where people have taken out loans and can't, all the repos. Soon the banks will go out, and we know the dollar's going out. And these idiots are clueless. I love their stories, guys. They are clueless. Guy's got millions of dollars in a 401k, and he's about to go broke. But he's so arrogant, he doesn't understand he's about to go broke. I love it. And when you talk to him, Luke, and you say, what do you think about the $2,500 gold price? Well, it's overbought and you can't buy gold. Gold doesn't move. Do you realize it's only derivative gold and it's paper gold, not physical? Do you believe it? Do you understand it's not in the free market? It's just controlled by COMEX, which is about to be blown up Do you realize that, Mr. 401k? And oh no, you're mistaken. Oh no, it's not. It's free market. And when you're done laughing at them, I would just walk away and say, "Yeah, it was nice knowing you, but I can't. You're too stupid to hang around with. What's the point?" I do that with people at the club all the time. They're just idiots, and I say to myself, I could start a conversation, but what's the point? They're too stupid to talk to. And I walk away. And I'm being stoic. I'm going, no, I don't want to start a conversation with a vampire and have him just yap at me and bore me and drain me. I got too much work to do to be drained by some idiot who has no clue that today's Tuesday or whatever the day is. Luke, I like Andy Scheckman. He knows what he's selling, and he's one of the biggest bullion dealers. I don't question he knows what he's selling. It's when he starts talking economics, he doesn't have a clue. It's like, well, I listened to Jim Reichert, or I listened to this idiot or that idiot, or Peter Schiff, or this Maloney guy. Oh, I learned everything from Peter Schiff and these other guys. Andy's a nice guy, but don't get me wrong, but he doesn't know shit about economics. That's my problem with them. That's my problem with all of them. They're lying, or they just don't know, but they're pretending they know, and they're hurting people by giving them false information. Because have you heard them say what I say? No. They're just starting to probably listen to me, and I can see the change. All of a sudden, Egon's going, yeah, it's not just the dollar going down. You're also going to make money on your dollar. I know he follows me on my Twitter now, and he's like going, yeah, you're going to make money on your things, because all they said is it's the dollar going down, not gold going up. And I kept saying it is gold going up. The same gold goes up as if there's demand for a Rolex, and the gold price goes from 50,000 to 80,000 because of demand for the Rolex. That's why they go up. That's why gold's going up, is all these people dumping the dollar. And if you have, and it's clear, like your brother selling the tickets, if there's more demand for the Ohio State-Oregon game and they all want 50-yard line, believe me, your brother doesn't sit there at $3,000. He cranks it up to $5 or $6 or $10,000 for the tickets. It's how they get so expensive. There's demand for the ticket. And that's the same thing with gold. The demand for gold, once people see the dollar is going out all over the world, they're gonna pile into gold. As Egon says, there's only so much gold out there. And the only way you can get it is the price to go up, forcing people to sell it. I'm not selling mine at this price, but yeah, at 10,000, I might sell an ounce or two to somebody if they need it. Only an ounce or two, not all of it. But it's going to take. I went to the coin store, I don't know, a couple of months ago, and the guy says, we're running out of American Eagles. We know you have some. Can you sell us some? And I said, sure. How much? It was $2,000 an ounce back then. And I said, add a zero. You make it 20,000, I'll sell it to you. I ain't selling you my gold at 2,000. Are you out of your fucking mind? So when it hits 20, and then it's only when you need it, and then it depends on the currency. So yes, this brics, maybe this gold back, whatever you're talking about, crypto. I'm very leery about crypto because I want to have it in my hand. I want the gold in my hand. So the only way I'm going to do it is if it's in my hand or safely protected. I do not trust crypto. I do not trust the internet. The Chinese are trying to hack it. The Russians hack it all the time. You got to be out of your mind to trust it. Now, the countries, it's different. China buying oil from India or from Saudi Arabia, they're going to deliver the oil. They're going to give them they'll give them the gold. Okay, fine. That's how it should be. Saudi Arabia, yep, we got the gold in our account. And believe me, as quick as they get it, they turn it into real gold. They're not going to want to hold it digitally. I'm not going to get fucked by holding something digitally and then it's gone. Not me. I'm too safe. My banker friend is head of risk management. I can't stop laughing. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to talk to this guy. I'd eat him alive. I don't get intimidated, and especially talking about this or football, and I'd eat the guy alive. Like I said, I was in Vegas a couple years ago with Carmen, and it was July. We went July 4th week, and they just posted the college football, and they had Michigan. This is 4 or 5 years ago. They had Michigan as a 3-point favorite over Ohio State, and Ohio State beating them like 20 years in a row. And I said to the guy, you got, I'm not intimidated. I go, you got the wrong line. You got the wrong team favored. And he looked at me like, no, I don't. And I said, oh, yes, you do. And he said, oh, did you bet $1 million on it? Well, if I had $1 million, I would. I bet my 1,000 or whatever. And by the game was in Thanksgiving. This was July. So by Thanksgiving, Ohio State's a 10-point favorite, and they win by 25. And I purposely went back to see if I could see him to cash my ticket. Was I really wrong? But I didn't back down from him a bit. I was very confident that I knew what I was talking about. Don't fuck with me on football, and don't fuck with me on economics. The only time I get baffled is when I go to the bank and the guy starts talking elastic and inelastic. If you want to start talking Keynes economics, I'm not following you. I'm not listening. I'm in my Austrian world. We want to talk about Adam Smith and Say's law, and you want to talk invisible hand and laissez-faire economics, I'm there. You want to start talking Keynesian, I do not want to even have a conversation with you because you're an idiot. It's not real economics. It doesn't work. It's already been proven it doesn't work. It's the price fixing that Kamala wants to do. We'll make sure everybody can afford a house. We heard that with Clinton. How did that work out? Oh, yeah. That was the 2008 bubble caused by Larry Fink, who did the mortgage-backed securities. So this is why you buy gold, because they're all swindlers. They're all Ponzi schemers. They're all Madoffs. You just don't want to. There's no point in engaging them. Pat just proved the guys don't have a fucking clue what they're doing. Who sells their gold now? It's finally running, right? We wait, and Luke's wait. When will it run? When will it run? We finally get the run. It's 2,400. It's 2,500. It's now 2,515. It was 2,529. It's going to 3,000. Why are we getting out now when we've waited for the run and we're finally getting the run? And then here comes brics, probably revaluing it at 5,000 to 10,000 when they roll it out, because there's certainly not enough gold for the gold-backed currency. Why would we get out now? See, the banker's clueless. He doesn't understand why it's going up, so he thinks it's over bought. So he says, "Well, it's done." Well, why is it done? Well, I don't really know, but because it's went up so much. Do you know why it's went up? And he can't answer that question. Why would you sell it? See, this is why you must understand what you're doing. You must understand why you're betting Kansas City. Oh yeah, Mahomes. And when Mahomes is gone, you stop betting them. You bet New England because of Brady. Brady left. You don't bet New England anymore. It's very simple. And then you wait for the next guy. Now you see Jordan Love, and you see you got Stenson Benson at LA with Stafford. Brock Purdy looks pretty good. So now you know what teams you can bet on. But the variables change. You don't keep betting the New York Jets when Joe Namath's gone. That's it. You're done. You're okay. Now I got to go find the next Joe Namath. And that's what you do. So you've got to understand, why are you buying gold? And then you understand why I would sell it. Well, at this point, I ain't selling it. It's going to be a long time before I see a reason to sell it. And right now, brics coming on board, going to a gold-backed currency, is not the time you want to sell it. It's the time you want to buy it. So again, it's very simple, but you have to understand it. You have to have an open mind to want to learn to understand it. Your banker friends are clueless. Your 401k friends are clueless. Like I say, the problem is a guy has $500,000. He doesn't understand to sell it to buy gold. He thinks he's fine. Look at Warren Buffett. He just sold all his stocks, $25 billion worth. You think he's smart enough to put it into gold? No, he's got money. I'm going to buy stuff cheap with my money. Warren, the money is worthless. It's fucking monopoly money. He doesn't get it. He thinks because he has a lot of it, even though it's worthless, that's it. Imagine how the Germans were in 1923. They had, they printed a billion dollars a day, which back then was a lot of money. It was worthless. They're wallpaper in their walls because it's worthless. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants something that's overindulged. And I use the Titanic and I use the chocolate cake. I mean, I cannot eat a chocolate cake every day and not gain weight. I'm going to gain weight, and you can't print trillions of dollars every day and expect the dollar to not have value. Do you have a value? Let's see. Pat, I only told him that if he really believes that money is now in a computer, he must visit a shrink. There you go, Pat. When I told him about BRICS, he thought it was an emerging market ETF index fund. So he doesn't know what Russia and China and India are. Wow, this guy's a real idiot. What bank is this? I want to make sure I don't bank at that bank. I would short that bank. That bank's going to go under if you got an idiot like this running it. Luke, I wonder if when the system breaks, it'll go 100, 200 days, maybe even 500 days until it gets to 20K. Oh, the gold? Oh, $100 a day, $200 days, $500. Yeah, I mean, we're in kind of dark territory. I mean, we don't really have anything to go by, right? Mahomes, I can see, yeah, he's won a few Super Bowls, so I know what to expect him in the playoffs, and I know what to expect with Lamar in the playoffs. We don't know, but really the key is getting rid of the derivatives. You get rid of that 10 o'clock drop, which is just bullshit, a derivative, a put option by Eddie Murphy wanting the price to go down. It is not anything in the real market, right? Nobody's selling gold, knocking it down, and nobody's buying gold, pushing it back up. So it's just other options. Maybe they're buying the gold off of COMEX, but there can't be any left. And that's what's going to happen with silver. So it's going to be crazy. All I can say is, knowing human nature the way I know it, you see it in football. There'll be a line, there'll be a game that's 3-point favorites, and all of a sudden there's 7. It's just the frenzy. It's the human emotion. But that's a football game. Wait till you throw fear in. Okay. Your guy, let's see, what has he got? Multi-million-dollar 401k. Okay, so let's talk about this guy. We'll call him Fred. He's got a multi-million-dollar 401k in stocks, I guess. Maybe he's got some bonds. What do you think his psyche is going to be when it's worth $500,000? Think he's going to panic? You think he's going to sell it as quick as possible? And do you think, well, he's not smart enough to get into gold, but what do you think is going to happen when he loses his value in it? He'll get pretty emotional. And that's the difference. In an emotional environment, people will look around, and I don't know if they'll catch gold or not, because the US guys are too stupid, your bank guys and everything. I did the same thing. As soon as Biden took over and started doing 5 trillion of this and 10 trillion of that, I go, that's it. It's all over. It's done. It takes a few years to really get in there. And I said, where can I put my money? So I knew I immediately had to move my money out of the dollar. And I said, well, I can buy euros, because I was just probably with you in Barcelona. And I said, I can buy euro. And then I realized, no, they're printed too. They're not backed by gold. Switzerland, no. There's nowhere. I can only go into gold and silver. I understood that. But does your friends understand that? So your guy with his multi-million-dollar 401k understand his only option's gold. Do you think he understands that? But what is the panic that's going to go through this guy's body when it goes from multi-million to a few 100,000? As it's dropping, the panic on this guy is going to be crazy. And then that's what drives your gold price, right? So let's say he understands that gold is out and Warren Buffett starts understanding the gold's it, and Bill Gates starts realizing I need gold. These guys don't. They don't have. They're listening to their financial advisors, putting them in stocks and bonds apparently, and real estate trust, not in the gold because the financial advisor doesn't tell you about gold because he doesn't get commission on it. So what do you think when these guys wake up and start realizing their only option is gold? Then you're going to see $1,000 rate, because you're just going to see all this buying. And if it's away from comex and there's a mechanism that's actually doing like eBay, where it's the physical market, it's the market driven. I mean, if we all want the Mantle card and we bid it up, we can go to 100. How do you think Montana got to 125,000 as rookie card? I'm sure there was emotional. I want the PSA 10. I want it. And it got bid all the way up. And I think that's what you're going to see in gold. I think you could see $5,000 moves in a day, and you could see it go way past 20,000. Once that fear with panic sets in, that's when you're going to see gold really move. So right now we're kind of calm and we understand it, and we're just waiting. We bought and bought. We want to buy more, but we bought and bought. We're okay, and now we're waiting for the price to go up. We're just sitting back. We're not panicking. But when the dollar starts collapsing and the brics starts happening, what do you think all these people are going to start doing when they realize they're all fucked, if they even realize it? Or they're going to wake up one day and they're all going to be broke. I don't know which way it is, how stupid they are, but that's exactly. So you could get a $5,000 day in gold, because this is the whole world. This is Europe and Japan and Africa, who wants to go gold back. The whole country of Africa, all these little countries we talk about, want to go on a gold back currency. Not just the BRICS guys, but the African guys. Everybody's starting to realize the only out is gold. And so what are they going to do? Africa, there's not enough gold for Africa to go gold standard with all those countries. I mean, the whole country and all the BRICS, let's say 22, but let's say 159. But I don't know if that would include, it probably includes Africa, who will probably just stay with their own gold back system. And what do you think is going to happen? That'll really raise the price, because I need 1,000 tons. Well, we don't have it. Well, I'll pay more for it. Well, okay, it's now $15,000. Okay, I need it. And then here comes more people needing gold. I'll pay 20. I'll pay whatever, because they all have this printed bullshit money, and they'll just keep raising the price of gold, and it'll never come down. And that's what we're looking for. So where am I? So BRICS is an index. Okay, Luke, I just read yours. Yeah, so it might blow right by 20K, Luke. Yeah, it'll easily, you could have $500 days, $1,000 days. It's the panic and the fear of losing everything, and the panic, I got to have it, as we know. And multiply that by your banker friends and all these other idiots who are clueless. They'll buy at the end, and they'll pay 10, 20 grand for it. So 20 grand is a very conservative number I'm giving you, because I understand the fear and the whole, I got to get off the Titanic's sinking. I got to get into the lifeboat. I understand the mentality of that. So that's the number I'm coming up with. Because once people realize they're fucked, because right now what do? They don't listen to us. Pat's telling his guy and he's laughing. You're telling your guy and he's laughing. Oh, no, that can't happen. No. We're still on the petrodollar, aren't we? We're the world reserve currency. Well, big fucking deal. You still can't print 150 trillion of them and think it has value. You have an election coming up, so of course they don't want to say that the economy's bad or the dollar's bad. So all you're going to hear is how great it is, and we know the truth. So that's what you have. So as the boat's sinking, What is it? I'll take you back to the Titanic. You watch Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's in the movie, and half the people on the boat, oh, we can't sink. We're an unsinkable ship. We can't sink. Well, yeah, we're getting pretty low in the water, and we did hit that iceberg, and the water's rushing in, and we are going down. What the fuck do you mean we can't sink? And that's exactly what you're hearing. You guys are hearing. Well, no, it's we're the reserve currency. We can't go out. How about the Romans? Oh, that was Roman times. No, it's the same. It's the same theory. You printed your money to zero and say goodbye to Rome. I mean, it happens all the time, every time. I remember when we're at the airport, Luke, you go to me, well, is it going to go to zero? How about if it goes to like 10%? And I go, no, it goes to zero. I love that question. Pat, even the bullion dealer I know doesn't get it. He's just the salesman. That's the point I'm making with Andy Schechtman and Shift and all these guys. They're just salesmen. They're not economists. Even Mark McGuire, the only guy that kind of gets its Egon. Mark McGuire, kind of a salesman. He's a stockbroker, a banker. They're not economists. You need an economist who's an Austrian economist like moi to understand what's going on. And none of these guys are qualified to talk about it. They don't get the theories that I understand. Gold, silver squeeze. Well, that silver is going to be squeezed to death. That'll be like a python squeezing it. It's not totally worthless if people are still using it. People are still using the Venezuela money. Do you think it has a value? You let me know about that one. So if you think the Venezuela people are still using it and it has a value, then I'll agree with you. The moment Fred realizes the truth, it's already too late. Exactly. He should have realized this. I realized this 3 years ago when Biden took over, and he started printing 5 trillion here and 5 trillion there. As soon as he did that, the red flag went out. I go, we're fucked. With Trump, I didn't really think about it because he didn't do things this stupid. But I don't know that Trump's really any better. I don't think he understands it. I think the people he has maybe are better, but they're all crooks. So I don't buy that Trump is going to understand inflation and come out with a gold-backed currency. We hope so. Otherwise, everybody here is fucked, and we're all going to move to Russia and any BRICS country we can find that's worth living in. His name is Kirk, Captain Kirk. He says he'll buy more if it goes down 30%. Well, tell him it is not going down 30%. And why would he buy more if it goes down 30%? Wouldn't you sell it if it goes down 30%? Tell him he's an idiot and tell him I told him so. He says he'll buy more if it goes down. Okay. Pat, Luke, I'm crying already for that guy. No, you got to laugh at him. You don't cry. You cry for the old lady who doesn't know, whose father told her to not buy gold. But these guys who are bankers, you got to laugh at because they're freaking morons. Luke, the situation makes up for 98% of the successful working professionals with the 401k. I feel sorry for them. I lose many jobs trying to help them. I was at Toyota talking to people about buying gold, and they didn't like that I was doing that because I should be working. I go, I am working. I'm doing more good for these people than you are, but they don't get it. And I'm like, fine, go fuck off then. Then I just panic sets in when they all realize the Titanic is showing down fast, and then it goes ballistic. Well, you see the movie. What happened in the movie? It's the same damn thing. That's why I use that example. Once people realize they've all been Madoff, look at Madoff. What happened? Nobody knew they were getting Madoff, right? Everybody thought this is great. I'm making 15% every month, consistently 15% with Madoff. Nobody knew or thought it was a Ponzi scheme or cared it was a Ponzi scheme. I'm making money. I'm happy as I can be. I have no idea what a Ponzi scheme is, and that how would Bernie Ponzi scheme me? And then that rich guy and who was I think wasn't he British, who had all his relatives were like the dukes and duchess of all those, and the guy committed suicide in the Madoff thing on Netflix, Hervé Villechaize or whatever, and he didn't catch it. Oh, I did my due diligence. No, you're an idiot. You didn't do your due diligence. You didn't ask the question, where are you? Let me see what are you investing in? I want to know every day what I'm investing. If I got $10 billion in a fund, I want it emailed to my desk what you bought every day. But you're not going to get it because he didn't buy anything. So look at all the people that got made off. And yet there's still idiots out there. You still had the 2008 crash, which is related to Madoff, but separate. And now you got this, and this is going to be 100 times worse because the dollar will basically be worthless, and nothing can be done to bail it out but gold. And that's where the gold price has to go, because people will realize, what is my out? And then they'll start talking to you. Right now, they're talking to their financial advisors, financial planners. But once these guys say buy stocks and the stock market crashes, are you going to listen to them? No. Then you start going, oh, wait, this Teaser King's out there, or Luke's my friend. Let me ask him what he's doing. He's still driving around in a Mercedes. Wait, what did you do, Luke? Oh, you bought gold. Oh, and somehow that worked. Oh, okay. That's the panic that's going to drive gold over 20,000, is then they will realize that's the only thing to buy, and the panic sets in. Yeah, 4 ounces will buy a house. That's be 100,000 each ounce. That's conservative, but again, the house will be priced in dollars, not. It won't be priced in this. This is what you got to realize. The house is priced in this now, will not be priced in this, because this will go away. The house goes to zero. Then the house gets priced in gold. And if the panic happens the way we think, you might only need 1 ounce to buy a house. Because you know what the guy who owns the house is going to do? He's fucked. He has no money because he's one of your 401k buddies who has all his money in dollars, and he's broke. What do you think the guy with the multi-million dollar 401k is going to do when his house goes to zero? He can't live like that. And you're going to walk up to him and, hey, Charlie Brown, yeah, I really like your house. And since you don't have any money, I do have this nice shiny gold coin. I'll trade you the gold for your house. And he'll take it in a heartbeat. That's what you're not fully understanding, is the people that own the house, how are they going to live? All their money in their 401k and in their banks are worthless. The only way they can live is with your gold and silver that you happen to have for them generously. A nice fair trade, free trade. I'll give you the gold. I want the house. Well, I have a house, but I need money, so I'll take the gold because I know that's money. And that's how you're going to get the house for a couple ounces of gold, because the guy's going to panic and need money. And he thinks he's got it in dollars. And he's going to realize he doesn't. And he's going to realize his house is worthless. It'll be worth in gold, but in dollars, everything in dollars goes to zero. And, the US dollar. Oh, well, wait, they'll come out with a USD number 2. Is it backed by gold? Well, no, we don't have any gold. Oh, okay. So that's worthless also. They might try to sell it that it has a value. If it ain't backed by gold, it doesn't have a value, because the paper itself isn't have a value. It's you trust the government. Are you going to trust the government when this goes out? Let me see. Well, it's because of the Russian war. It's all Putin's fault that our dollar's worthless. Putin didn't print our money to death. You did. Oh, my God. Pat, the Germans in Weimar, Germany, 100 years ago, used the paper money to heat their houses as wood, and was too expensive. And they wallpapered their walls with it. Don't forget that. And don't forget the wheelbarrow to buy milk and bread. And that didn't end. I mean, they switched to the Reichsmark from the Deutschmark, or the other way around. When Hitler started in the 30s, they were bankrupt then. World War II was about Hitler going into these countries to steal the gold because he didn't have any, because he was bankrupt. That's why World War II happened, because he was bankrupt. He got the military. He goes into Czechoslovakia, steals their gold. He goes into Brussels, steals their gold. He goes into Poland, he steals the gold. That's World War II. That's the really reality of what World War II was. Hitler needing money, stealing the gold. And as I showed you in Monuments Men, if you ever get a chance, I have that. He goes to the salt mines, George Clooney, and he sees a whole shitload of gold in the mines that Hitler's hiding. That's what World War II was. He used the Jews as the excuse or whatever he wanted to. It was about him needing gold, not Bitcoin, not any other currency. Hitler stole the gold. And that's why it ended up in New York. That's how we got everybody else's gold, like in Die Hard 3, when you see Japan and Korea and Germany and all these other countries' gold. Why is it there? Because of Hitler stealing it, and they want it in a safe haven. It's always about the gold. Luke, I like that. Python squeezing you. I also like the Noah Ark one a few days. Yeah, that's exactly what I feel like. World War III is next Cold War. Well, that's what BRICS is. There won't be a nuclear war. There won't be. You have all this bullshit war to divert your attention. Why is Israel at war? What the fuck's that all about? And it keeps going on. What's the Ukraine war about? Oh, it's about oil and minerals in the 5 cities in the Ukraine where all the oil and minerals are. Donetsk, Crimea, Kharkov, Odessa. I've been to Donetsk and I've been to Odessa, amazingly enough. Nice little cities. I liked Odessa. The women were really beautiful there. I'll tell you a quick beach story. So I take Jenna and we're at the beach and we get the mattress with the umbrella and, so I'm buying lunch. And the girl who brings the drinks and the food was unbelievable. She was just gorgeous. And so I started flirting with her a little bit. And I said to her, man, it's a hot day. I feel bad for you. And she says, well, what else can I do? And I'm like, well, if she wasn't here, I'd be marrying you right about now. That's what you can do. Just beautiful girls. And they're sitting there working at the beach in 90 degrees, serving drinks, probably making $5 a day. Geez. Well, hopefully Odessa will open back up, even though Russia might control it. But just so many beautiful women there. Oh my God. Anyway, so those are the cities where the oil and the gold, the oil and the minerals are. That's it. That's the war. Because if you notice, Russia's not attacking anywhere else. Russia got Crimea and they're defending it. And Russia got Donetsk and they're defending it because it's my oil and I don't want to give it up. That's your war with Russia and the Ukraine. And don't think for a moment it's U.S. versus the Ukraine. But we're using the Ukraine soldiers to fight for us. What the fuck is that? I don't know how Ukraine is this stupid, but Zelensky's just after the money. So Biden, the NATO pay him off. That's why Boris Johnson, when he says, well, you do remember we're giving you like $5 million. You got to keep this war going on for us. And that's why it didn't end there. That's why they won't settle, because they keep giving these money to Zelensky and he keeps, oh yeah, we got 80-year-olds fighting the Russians and we got 10-year-olds fighting the Russians. Okay, Zelensky, you're the man. So with all that, that's really the problem. And every war is about the gold and the oil. It's one or the other. And every war in the history of life. I don't know what Napoleon did with why he was in Russia. I assume oil. I don't know what French had, but why would Napoleon go to Russia? What in God's name are you doing there? Well, they do have gold. They do have diamonds and silver and oil and natural gas. Well, natural gas probably around Napoleon's time wasn't really worth it, but that's That's the I got to watch something. I don't really know Napoleon that well, but I got to wonder, what were you doing in Russia? The Germans, we know, went for the oil. They went down south to get the oil and north to get the seaport. Because if you notice, when Germany invaded, they went north for the seaport to Moscow and south for the oil. So that's why they attacked Russia. A brilliant move by Hitler. All he had to do was just go get the oil and not fuck around with the rest of it, and he'd have been fine. They would have never lost if he just had a brain in his head, but we all know he didn't. And then Russia made him pay. But this is the problem. Everything's about oil. Now, you think you can negotiate it now, right? In the U.S., I don't get it. We have all this oil that we're not using. Why are we trying to get the oil out of the Ukraine when we have all this oil here that we're not pumping? What the fuck is going on with that? That's what Trump will open up, the Keystone Pipeline and the others. But it would be too little too late, I fear. But we need new money. We need a gold back. That's the savior. That's it. You don't have gold, the country's gone, and I don't see where we have it. We do not have 8,000 tons of gold. We have zero. It's all China's. Why aren't we buying gold at these cheap prices like the rest of the world is? This is the question. That's a George Soros question. We're not buying it. Are we this stupid? So the rest of the world buys gold at our cheap prices, but us? So we're the only ones that don't get to buy gold. That doesn't smell right. That's George Soros, not Obama, running this country, wanting to tank it. And that's what I see happening. So Trump maybe gets in, but I don't think George Soros wants Trump in, so I don't think he wins. Even though 100% of the vote goes to Trump, he still won't win. There was the election in the UK or France, where the conservative one won by popular vote by a ton, and the Labour Party guy got in because that's what George Soros wants. I think it was England, and now they're fucked. Maybe it was France. No, I think it was France. There was a woman who won, and then the Labour Party went in. Say goodbye to that country. So why they're still letting George Soros do his shit, I cannot imagine how corrupt everything is, that nobody's saying, hey, maybe we need to kind of arrest George Soros before we don't have any countries left. He's the one behind the immigration of bringing all the Muslims into England and France and Germany and ruining these countries because they're all terrorists, right? All right, Luke, I like that. Yeah, Noah's Ark. Okay. The war is also in Africa. The French got kicked out. They just lost their mining supply. That's not really a war. That's about Russia wanting and China wanting the gold. And there's a lot of gold and minerals in Africa, as we know. And they've kept France and the U.S. stealing it, right? And that's why Africa's poor, because they don't have any money, because all their money is printed to death. Another way that they've been inflated. And the U.S. and France have been stealing the money. Now Russia comes in to support them. They kicked the U.S. out of that field that they're in. They've kicked them out of France. France has been kicked out of Africa. And that's why Africa wants gold-backed currency for the whole country. And when that happens, Africa will grow. Hopefully it won't be all military. And then you will see them become more powerful because they'll have money. They'll have real money, gold, and they won't be manipulated by the U.S. and France. U.S. and France will tumble because we're not getting all this free money in. He who has the gold makes the rules. I mean, it's as simple as it is. But France has been running Africa and stealing all the gold, and that's ending. Now Russia's taking it over, so how's that going to work? Is Russia now going to steal all the gold? Can you trust Russia, Africa? I don't know, but you see a lot of military leaders running Africa, so We will see. That's the question. It's just like BRICS. The only reason people want to join BRICS because they know it's a gold-backed currency. I doubt anybody trusts Russia or China. I certainly wouldn't. I was reading up about if I go meet Daria in Russia, taking some gold, and can I sell it there? And I don't know. All the banks are nationalized, so they're not independent. So it's like state-owned, right? It's the Bank of Russia, right? It's the Putin Bank of Russia. So I don't think I'd sell my gold there. I'd need to find a jewelry store like I do here. Here I go to a jewelry store and he sells gold, and that's where I buy it and if I needed to sell it. But the question is, what are we going to do? And this is what my homework is to figure out, all right, gold's hit 10,000 an ounce. Where do we sell it? Do we sell it here? I know we hold it, but do we sell? What do we do with it if we want to sell it? Do we go to Switzerland? Do we go to Germany? Do we go to Russia? Where can I sell it and not have an issue with it? I'm willing to pay the 1099 tax, but that's here. If I go to Sweden, I'm not expecting a 1099, or Russia, for sure not. Or maybe I go to Serbia and sell it. So I got to dig to where we sell it. And I don't care about the tax, like I said. If I got to pay tax, fine. The problem, if it's too expensive, then you come back to the U.S., right? So wait a minute, my gold's 20,000. I sold 3 ounces for 60. I can't bring in 60 grand into the country. I'll have to pay tax on it unless I'm clever and give it to Jenna or something. So I don't know. I have to game plan that. I have to be the professor and figure that one out. Just like when I was in Money Heist. That'll be the key to it. So what did Noah do? He would have put that money. Where did he put his money on the ark? But that's what it is. I don't know because they, it's going to be it'll be curious. I know I can have Jenna cash it out for me and she won't have to pay anything because she doesn't have any money. So for her to walk in and she doesn't pay taxes. So she walks in, they give her a 1099 for it. Big deal. She won't. What's she going to do? So that's my ace in the hole if I need it, or Daria in Russia. If I need it, I'll have her research it a little bit. But that's the biggest thing. I do have them, as I showed you, in my white silver containers. I have most of my gold now. The only ones I don't have are the U.S. Eagles, are too big to fit into the white silver containers unless I take them out of the plastic. So right now I have all my gold in these. If I open these up and take the gold out, I could fit it in the white containers, but I don't want to. I want to protect it. Something worth 20 grand or 30 grand, I don't want. I want it like this. I want it protected in a hard plastic so it can't get scratched or lose the value. So we will see about that. So I'll get back to you once the shit hits the fan. Right now, I go to my gold store and sell it if I wanted to, but I don't want dollars. So make sure when you do sell it, check with me first. You don't want this. This is worthless. I don't want it. It's like getting back on the Titanic. You hit the lifeboat. Now you're in the lifeboat, and now you get out of the lifeboat and go back on the Titanic. No, don't. So you don't want to sell your gold to get back into dollars. That's not what you want to do. So be very careful with there. It's just amazing how stupid these bankers are. I really can't get over your guys telling me this, and anybody else, please tell me these stories. It's fascinating. And these are bankers and financial guys. I know when I go to Fifth Third, and I keep a whopping $2,000 in there just to pay rent and stuff. And the guy came up to me, "Oh, I got a 9% annuity for you." And I go, "I don't want to be in dollars. I want to be in gold. You're keeping me in dollars. You're keeping me on the Titanic. I don't want that." And And then he got upset and he starts challenging me with inelastic. And I go, I don't know what that is. I don't. It's too stupid to pay attention to. It doesn't mean anything. It's something like the price. Like I think gas is inelastic. You're gonna pay for it no matter what. Like if gas is $20 a gallon, you still need it in your car. But what does that have to do with economics? It doesn't have anything to do with economics. That's marketing. That's pricing. I don't care about that. So that's really the difference with it is this is how you're attacking me with stuff that doesn't matter to me. It's not economics. It's a pricing thing. That's pricing. That's not economics. But anyway, so be careful of that. Do not listen to these idiots who are in bonds and stocks. And look, Pat, I would laugh at that guy going, let's see, I just made all this money in gold and you made 3% on a bond that you'll never get paid for. You should say to him, well, let's see, we're $36 trillion in debt. Do you actually think you're going to get paid for your bond? I'm dying to hear that one. Oh my God, what an idiot. I always love the look on their faces when I mention gold. What's the look like? Why would you buy it? Like they're like in denial that it's got a value. So bring up a Rolex. See how they react to that. Or bring up a Mantle card or whatever sport they're in, a Montana card, a Jordan card. Bring that up. Or a Mahomes card or Brady and say, well, do you own any of those? What's the difference between that and gold? Gold doesn't move because it's not free market. It's paper, but that's going away. And we're going to get a free market. And where do you think gold's going to go? It's going to go to Montana and Rolex. And you're going to be sitting there. See, they don't understand paper. And that's what that's where you got them by the balls, is just saying, you make a comment like, well, what's wrong with gold? And they'll go like, well, it doesn't move. And go, well, did you realize that was the paper gold that you're talking about, not the physical? And then check the look out on their face, because the look on their face when you tell them that will blow them away. They have no clue it's derivative based, not physical. And that's what you know. You know the little secret. They don't. I told another guy, if it's not on the elementary chemistry chart, then it doesn't exist. Show me the dollar or the euro on the elementary chart. That's when they got angry and defensive. Well, you make a comment. Did you realize every dollar that's not backed by gold has gone to zero in the history of life? Let's hear them react to that one. Then you bring up the Romans. Let's hear them react to that one. Oh, that was back to Caesar. No, that doesn't count. Why doesn't that count? It's the fucking Roman Empire. If anything counts, it's the Romans. How about the French in 1795? Bring that one up. The British printed counterfeit francs, dumped them in Paris, and that was the end of the franc. It went to zero because they flooded the market. But it's all over their heads. They won't be able to comprehend that if you keep printing the money that's not backed by anything, it goes to zero. Like I said, I'll be happy to talk to these idiots. I would love to destroy them. Because are they trying to help you? No. Do they understand what they're doing? No. How old are these guys? Are they in their 40s, or are they in their 50s, or are they in their 30s? I'm curious the age of these idiots. I don't blame you for laughing. I'm laughing too. Let's say I lost a lot of friends. These aren't your friends, and you don't want stupid friends. You want to be stoic, and stoic means you have smart friends. You have friends that are deserving of being friends. So why do you want morons as friends? Are they really your friends? So if they're your friends and you bring up gold, they should listen. Right? You're more of a friend because I tell you about gold and you listen. than these bankers are to you. They don't listen to you. They're not your friends. Your friends would understand and go, yeah, wait, he's making good points. Yeah, he's pretty smart. That's why he's my friend. These guys aren't your friends. You're just, they're probably just using you, but I don't know you or them, but I would imagine that's what's happening. Let's say, so they're 30s to 60s. Oh, okay. Well, the 30-year-olds have no excuse. The 60-year-olds have no excuse. The 30-year-olds for sure haven't been taught gold. I learned this in 1993, 4, 5. That's when I was in my master's. So that's what, 30 years ago? 03, 13. Yeah, so that's 30 years ago. God. So the 60-year-olds certainly should know this. And the 50-year-olds, the 30-year-olds would have no idea because they stopped teaching Keynesian economics. And you really got to catch Adam Smith. And then you've got to not be brainwashed by these other idiots who are Keynesians, communists. So the communists trying to take over aren't going to tell you about gold because you might get ahead and they don't want that. Yeah, thank you. I know I'm right. I do that a lot where I'm right. That's what it is, but just stay stoic and say, I know it. See, they'll try to talk you out of it, but that's where you need to be stoic and say, no, I'm sure of it. You're not going to talk me out of it. There's nothing you're going to say that's going to talk me out of it because now I know and understand what the hell is going on and you don't. And that's the whole key to it. See, so when you hear Peter Schiff or some of these other idiots on there, you then go, this guy's an idiot. Now you understand why they're idiots. They don't know, especially Peter Schiff. He's a freaking idiot. My father thinks I'm a total loser. Not anymore, Pat. Why does he think you're a loser? Because you're buying gold or what? I mean, why would he think you're a loser? I mean, that's just what kind of dad do you have? I wouldn't be talking to my dad either. I mean, I divorced my ex because she was a freaking idiot. And I don't talk to my brother because he's a freaking idiot. I learned all this. I try to talk to them about it, and they don't listen. They think I'm stupid. I go, well, then fuck yourself. And I haven't seen my brother in years. And my ex, I could care about her. The girls ask, well, are you going to go back with your ex? I said, never. That's why I want the girls, because they understand me, and my ex was an idiot. I don't like hanging around idiot girls. I have a banker daddy. Oh, well, then you can ask him all about gold and laugh at him. Now you can really call him the loser. When did you start buying gold, Pat? If I may, you don't have to tell me just a couple years ago or 5 years, or when did you start buying gold? I use professor. He thinks I'm his friend. He thinks I'm his friend. I don't. What are you saying, Luke? I'm kind of confused there. I have a distant relationship with him. He told me many times that collecting coins is a useless hobby. Well, assets are capital growth coming soon. Quarter 1 or 25. Well, yeah. Well, probably by Thanksgiving we'll be eating there. Who thinks he thinks I'm his friend? Who are you talking about? I'm confused. I get you use me, but I don't know what you're. I started buying in 2002. Oh, so you got it really cheap. So you should have a lot of gold at that price. Unless you want to come to Pittsburgh for a Paul Skeens game and Capital Grille prior to, well, whatever, we can do either one. Probably rather come to a Steeler game. I'm in 40s, 40 ounces or 40 years old. So you should have bought a lot. I know I bought this in 1995. This was $250 an ounce. But my ex got us into cards instead of gold, which I wanted. So I have a few ounces from 250 an ounce, but most of it's later on. I'm 43, Pat, 1981. You're 40 years old. Oh, so you guys understand. See, you're lucky. You're buying it young when you have money, and yeah, you'll be, greatly rewarded with doing that. You can meet me if. Sure, Pat, you're welcome to. Bobby, we don't know if he'll show up. We don't. It's funny. We heard from him for 2 or 3 days, and then he's gone again. And I think he just came to get the LSU USC. My thoughts on that game. You bought it because it was so beautiful. And you didn't realize it was limited, and you didn't realize it was money, and you didn't realize you were going to be rich off of it. Okay. Well, that's the whole thing, Luke, is that we're ahead of the game. Most people don't even realize there's a game going on, and the bankers and such think they're playing a different game. Oh, I got my 401k, or I got this, or I got that. They don't even know what game they're playing. Well, the one guy's in bonds. That's the dumbest thing you could do, because you're never going to get paid back. And why would you want to be in the Titanic? The bonds are this. Why would I want to be in this? At what point would I want to be in it? And how long am I in a bond? For 5 years? Do I think the currency is going to last 5 more years? No fucking way. I bought a beautiful cougar end. Yeah, I'm not sure back then if you could buy eagles and stuff. I think maybe you could have, but I do know it was. I think it came out in 1995. No, I did. I did buy a little bit of gold back then. It was so cheap. I bought this in 95. This is an ounce. I paid $500 for this. It was $250 an ounce gold. That's where the jewelry really fucks you. Why are you charging me $500 for an ounce of gold jewelry? I'd have been better off with 2 ounces of gold coins for the same 500. Oh, what's a joke? You think I'm your friend? Oh, well, yeah, I do think you're my friend, but Steelers game would be good. Yeah, that might be a better. We can go see the Baltimore game, or Joe Burrow would be nice. I'm sure your brother can get us tickets for it. Or we could meet for an Ohio State game or something. Yeah, I mean, I'm game for that. I would just need time to do my class. The games that can be posted, I just got to do the class. Well, we'll see. But yeah, that'd be good. No, it was nice meeting you in Barcelona. It was strange because I'm talking to my buddy on the phone, and you're listening, and then you start talking, and a little bit on the plane. But that was this is how life works. We share an interest in the gold and the economics, and one thing leads to another. I never expected you to come on here. Most people I give the card to aren't smart enough to actually join in on the class. And so I was happy you did. And we know each other because we met each other. But like a lot of people here, I don't know. I've never met Bobby, or like Pat, or a lot of these people. Nick, I've never met them. So it's kind of a weird, like, here are my buddies, and yet I never met them. It's sort of like Daria. She's my girlfriend, but we haven't met in real yet, just like this. So that's why I'm excited to meet her. Jenna, I meet a lot. So she's in Berlin, and she leaves Friday, I guess, to go back to Poland to get back to the Ukraine. She's got to take a 20-hour drive to get back to her city. But she's outside of the line of, she doesn't have any problems with the Russians. They don't care about her because she doesn't have oil. So they're only after the oil cities. She's in the middle of something else. They don't bother her. That's what's so weird about it. She's in a war. The airports are closed. So I got to keep taking her. She's got to take the train or get a friend who can drive her to Poland. And then Poland, she trains to Berlin or will fly to Barcelona. She trained from Ukraine to Warsaw, and then she flew from Warsaw to Barcelona. And it's been a couple of years since she was able to fly out. It's insane, but she doesn't really have problems from the war. Doesn't see a lot of troops. She doesn't, once in a while a shell hits her city or something for some reason. She says, we used to have a bus stop, but now we don't. But her I met. That's why I'm really anxious with Daria a lot, because we haven't met yet, but we want to meet. And, we do love each other. We know that, but you need to seal it with a kiss. And, that's what I'm waiting for. So we'll see soon. But that's why I want to check out Russia. And, I want to give her gold. Like I give Jenna a little bit of gold when I meet her. And I want to check that out. Like, can I bring it in the country? Because I'm reading, I might not be able to bring it in the country. You can't take Russian gold out of the country. I don't know about U.S. gold. I don't really want to take a chance with the KGB watching me, but we'll see. She's scared for me to go there because she's like, nah, you'll be watched and you're American. Why are you going to Russia? You're an American. We're at war with you. And she makes good sense. That's why we want to meet in Serbia, only because that's the only place we can meet. She can't go to she can't go to Barcelona or Italy or France or Germany. She can only go to Serbia or Turkey, or I think Dubai. So that's why we got to meet in Serbia. But I'm anxious to meet her. But it's just, it's just like you guys. I don't know, except for Luke, I've met. Professor, you are always welcome to come visit where I am, and I show you around. Should have a drink someday. Where are you, Pat? We know Luke's in Pittsburgh, and Bobby's in Tampa, Nick's in Connecticut, I think. But we don't know where you are, Pat. You'll have to tell us. But I'm in Detroit. And we do have at least we did have a Capitol Grill. I assume it's still open. Who knows by the time everything. See, it's all going to be based. It's going to be like China. If there's no market, then all the companies, all the restaurants close because there's no shoppers. So you don't stay open to stay open. I'm right now in Singapore. Really? Well, good for you, Pat. So you're bankers in Singapore. So what are you doing with gold? Are you able to buy and sell it and keep it? Sounds like you can. Fascinating. What do you think, Luke? He's in Singapore. Interesting. Well, I hope you like it there and you're safe there. Now, is that China? Does China run it, or are you? I know you in Hong Kong, Taiwan used to be the paper tigers. They used to be the Austrian economics countries. But I know Singapore, your origin. So you're from Singapore. You're originally from Peru. Wow. How the hell did you find me? That's fascinating because I don't really do too much advertising. It's just if people want to catch brics or comex or football, they catch me. Singapore is a city state. So you're Chinese then. You're in, it's a China state. I always thought it was a country. Well, fascinating. We'll have to see. So you got like an apartment you live in and you, or a house? I don't know. Singapore was a fantastic precious metals hub. Yeah, I think Hong Kong is too. All these Chinese. So does China run it or is China not a part of it? Your father is German. Holy shit. How did that happen? So you're German, you're from Peru. What's your mother? Let me guess, she's Singaporean? How did you end up in Singapore? You're from Peru, with a German father. My guess is your mom's Singapore or Oriental, and you moved back there. That's my guess. We'll see. Let's see how close I am. See, Jenna's my girlfriend, and Daria's my girlfriend, and Jenna's in Berlin visiting her Ukrainian girlfriend who moved to Berlin as a refugee from the war, and she's got a rent-free apartment. You wonder why Germany's going broke, right? I'm staying with my mom is here in Singapore. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, let me show you. I can cure. I hope it's not too bad. Let me cure your mom. Foods that kill cancer. 6 shocking things. So please watch this video.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance and I saved hundreds. With all the money I saved, thought I'd buy stilts.
Cancer loves acid. Cancer also loves no oxygen. So knowing those things, it makes a lot of sense to alkalize the tissues. And even though there's the drop of only 1 point, the drop of 1 point means 60% less oxygen available at the cellular level. The other thing cancer loves is sugar.
Never stop eating sugar.
So these are the 3 common denominators I find. And so when people come to us wanting help to conquer cancer, you see what we do? We suggest a diet that's highly alkalizing. We suggest ways to oxygenate the body. And we also greatly eliminate the glucose, the sugars going into the body.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we have some groundbreaking information from Dr. Barbara O'Neill, a leading nutritionist and health expert. She's identified 6 incredible foods that can help fight cancer.
In a cellular pH of 5.5, this is where disease thrives, especially yeasts, funguses, and cancer.
These foods are not only delicious, but also packed with powerful nutrients and bioactive compounds that can boost your health. Stick around to learn how you can easily incorporate these superfoods into your diet.
What foods have an acid effect and what foods have an alkaline effect? And this will enable you to ensure that you're having a more alkaline diet. So we're going to have a look at alkaline foods and we're going to look at acid foods.
1. Lemon.
And you might be surprised to
Yeah, I eat lemons every day. She needs to stay away from high fructose corn syrup and carbs. So if she stays away from candy and ice cream and bread and wheat and rice, and has a lot. I have lemon like in my. I have this picture, and you can see this yellow thing in it. That's the lemon. I eat lemons all the time. Put it in my tea. I don't put it in the coffee. It doesn't taste right. I avoid sugars and ice cream and cake and all that stuff. Although once in a while I eat an ice cream, but when I'm really serious, like now, I just had a 72-hour fast. She needs to do fasting also. A fast will clean her body out. So she needs to do like a 48-hour fast. You can have water and tea and coffee, no sugar. She should not touch sugar. It will kill the cancer because the cancer needs sugar to survive. And if you kill all the sugar in your body and you do a 48-hour fast, which cleans your body, it'll clean the cancer cells and kill them and get rid of the sugar in your body, the high fructose corn syrup, no barbecue sauce, no ketchup, careful on your salad dressings, no candy, ice cream, and shit like that. And the cancer will go away. She'll be fine. So again, if you need this is the channel Healthy Dr. Barbara O'Neill. She's so good that they kicked her off of YouTube because The doctors won't need her. Yeah, my mother is following those steps. Cayenne pepper, yes. Sour soup, fruit, and papaya. Watch the fruit. Fruit's got sugar in it. Fasting is fantastic. I eat every second day. Thanks. Yeah, so that's the video, but that will work. Lots of lemons, but be careful on too much fruit. The fruit's got sugar, so you're better off with the and the lettuce and the spinach, those veggies, the broccolis, and I just had a 3-egg omelet for lunch with broccoli, yellow and red peppers, the cayenne pepper I'm mixing in with when I mix the ingredients, and then there's salt that's really good. It's not table salt, it's sea salt, but it's something else. It's a Celtic salt. Have her do that. You put like a thing on your tongue, and then you drink the water, and that'll help her. But I hope that heals her. But again, it's the same thing with gold. People don't understand it, so they're fucked with it. They don't think and then they go to the doctor and they get radiation, and it doesn't work anyway because you haven't solved the problem, which is the sugar and the carbs. Stop with the bread and the cereal. I haven't bought like Fruit Loops in years. The only time is when I'm with Jenna and we're at a hotel and you get the buffet breakfast, and I usually eat about 5 eggs and bacon, and I try to get the meat, and then once in a while I'll have a bowl of Lucky Charms or something and an orange juice, but just for breakfast, just for a treat. But that's what I try to do. No, it's that other salt. I have the Himalayan salt, but this is better. This is Celtic salt. Try to find that. It's not as out there as much, but it's a lot of nutrients in it. So yeah, I have the Himalayan, but it's the Celtic. I'm going to look for the Celtic, but I just found her and she said that, but and my other doctors, the same thing, do the fasting and have her do it. But if she would eat lemons a lot and she wouldn't get the cancer in the first place. Again, it won't live without the sugar. So don't let her put sugar in her tea or coffee, a lot of water, a lot of fasting, and she'll be fine. I take care of my mom's finances as well. Well, that's good. Put her in gold. You know what to do. That's the beauty of it. I listen to these retirement shows. Like I'll be in the car going to the pool on a Saturday, and there's, it's Joe's retirement, and it's some retirement advisor on. Buy your stocks, get your dividend stocks, and that's what you're going to use for cash flow when you retire and you need money. Never does he mention gold. I mean, I get so pissed. All these people are going to go broke being in stocks. So how does your friend not realize the stocks are overvalued? He thinks the gold's overvalued, but not the stocks? Oh my God, what an idiot. Anyway, anytime he wants to come on and put his 2 cents in, I'll be happy to blow him out. What an idiot. She doesn't get it, but she is happy to see it go up. Yeah, Jenna doesn't really get it either. They don't understand how the paper gold keeps the price down, it's price fixed, and then the free market is what we need. They don't get that. He told me gold is in a bubble, but stocks aren't. Okay. It's a nice bubble to be in. He is with Citibank. Well, get your money out of Citibank. So that's going to collapse soon. And how does he figure gold's in a bubble? It's price fixed. How can it be in a bubble? It's just starting to move. Tell him when gold hits 20,000, you'll think about it maybe being in a bubble. Bubbles are when what they're doing now, they're printing money to put into the stock market. It's not in by demand. It's in by them printing, making our stock market go up to say, look how good our economy is, but it's not real. It's money printed. But that's not what's happening with gold. It's demand moving gold up. It's like a Rolex. Is Rolex in a bubble? No, it's demand popping the price up. So it's not anything to do with a bubble. Anyway, I would avoid that guy or just laugh at him. I don't know. How's the rest of Singapore? Are they in the gold, or do they not understand it either? Or they're all in Citibank? What an idiot. Now, is this guy, what is he? Is he Singaporean? Or is he Chinese? Or is he German, Peru? What country is this guy? Well, I know him from my teenage years, so he is a drinking buddy. He tells me a lot of stories, and his buddies are even worse. Look up real salt. My wife is into organic everything. Well, it's the Celtic salt. That's what she said is the best. It's got all the nutrients. The Himalayan I use. I don't use table salt. But the problem is you go to a restaurant and what do they got? So it's funny when I go to my barbecue place to get the chicken and ribs, I bring in my Ken's French dressing. I don't want his barbecue sauce or ketchup. So I bring it in and I pour it and I dip my chicken or ribs in it. And I dip if I get fries or a baked potato, or if I get a salad, I put it on that. That's how I view. I don't want any of their. I go and if I go get the barbecue sauce that's at the barbecue restaurant, they give me the barbecue sauce for my ribs. My feet hurt when I'm done because it's like I get gout just from eating all the barbecues. It's so sweet, and so yeah, I bring all that. But at a normal restaurant, you can't even eat the salt. It's table salt. It'll kill you. So you need the Himalayan or this is Celtic salt that she says is just outstanding. He is Singaporean. Oh, well, that explains a lot then. You got to feel sorry for the guy. Anyway, I would just laugh at him and just tell him to talk to the professor, which is me. Tell him I got a guy that'll straighten your ass out because I mean, if you care about him at all, he's about to get killed. He's about to go broke. So you can either help him or not. I mean, it's up to you. Singapore is very much into financial products, but the Indians here are crazy for gold. There was a little district here called Little India, and every second store is a gold store, jewelry, and boy, sounds like my kind of city. So do you go into these gold stores and what do you buy them at US spot? So they're 2,600 for the ounce of gold. Do they have coins and stuff? I would stay away from the jewelry because you're getting fucked when you buy like this. This isn't even an ounce. Like so, if the ounce is 2,500, I don't get 2,500. I get 3/4 because it's 18 karat gold. I get 3/4 of an ounce for this. Yet I paid 2 ounces of gold for it. I paid $500. Gold's $250. But now if I want to sell it, and let's say gold's 3,000, I should get 500 for it, and I won't. I'll get 2,500, not the 3,000, even though it's supposedly an ounce of gold, because it's mixed with a bunch of shit. So jewelry is really not the way to go. Jewelry is not to invest in; it's just for your girlfriend or something. But yeah, buy the coins and store them away. I'm going to Little India for the food and stroll around to see the madness. There are massive queries on Sundays or queues on Sundays. Interesting. Yeah, my kind of place. Singapore's gold district. We don't have that here. Sounds like a lot of places here don't have that. Like I'm sure India does, but not here. I mean, you got to hunt for like a gold gold store that sells it, or for a regular jeweler sells Rolex doesn't have gold. They know about gold, but they don't sell gold coins. So this guy happened to sell gold coins. I kind of stumbled on it. And he's a few dollars more expensive, but it's okay because he's close. And for the dollar I can drive, he usually has inventory. Yeah, I'll have to figure out, bring my girlfriend and try to do that. Excellent bullion shops here, the best in the world, even better than Switzerland. Does Switzerland have a lot of gold shops? I don't know. They have a lot of banks, but it's funny here, there isn't any. So if I wanted to sell my gold, can I come to Singapore and sell it and not have tax issues and not have any issues? How does that work? So I fly to Singapore with 5 ounces of gold. It's 20,000 an ounce. Give me 100,000. Am I going to have trouble doing that in Singapore? I'm curious how that's going to work. Well, we've got to find a way to where we're going to sell it incognito and not get 1099 for it. That'll be interesting. View is paradise here. Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, so is Amsterdam. My other paradise. No taxes on bullion. So if I sell it, there's no tax. They just take it, they pay for it. Now, is it spot? So spots, let's say 25.50. Here's an ounce. You give me 25.50 spot for it. A lot of storage programs as well. Interesting. Yeah, because that's what I want. I want to be able to sell it and not pay a 1099 or taxes. And then the problem is going to be if I come back to the U.S., how to not declare. Let's say I have 2 ounces at 20,000 ounces, 40,000. How do I not declare the 40,000 that I'm bringing back? Interesting. Yeah, I don't have collectibles. I don't waste time with that. Now, how big is your premium there? So if gold's 25.50 here, we're paying like 26.70. We're paying like $100 premium on an ounce. On a eagle, on a Cougaran, it's like $70. So what does your premium look like there? Oh, we'll get back to that, I guess. Anyway, I think that's about it. Very low premiums. Oh, okay. So really, this is Luke. We got to go to Singapore and buy our gold and sell it. So interesting. Very good, Pat. There's no VAT on silver. There's no VAT on it here. What I do, so if the spot's 29 for silver, I pay $2 premiums. I buy it for 31. There's no tax. We don't have VAT here. We just have sales tax. But on silver and gold, there's no tax. We only it's the premium that we pay. So like I say, if gold's 3,000, I'll pay 3,100 to buy it. And when I sell it, I only get the 3,000, but okay. But silver is just the $2, and I assume I get spot for it. So if it's 29, I pay 31, and then the spot, $2 spot. But then when I want to sell it, I get spot the 29. All right, let's see what our gold is doing now. $25.15. We're doing nicely. We're hunting 2,600 soon. Silver, frustrating, 29.48. Problem with silver is it'll hit 32, come back down. Gold's gone. There is no VAT on silver. Europe has VAT for silver. I know Germany does, but I don't buy it. I buy it here. I don't need to buy it there. Singapore is the best place for bullion. for bullion holders. Oh, okay. Good to know. So now we know where to go, Luke. We'll go to Singapore. Okay, well, I think that's it. Time for dinner, and very good. So now I broke it up. I did an hour on baseball and football, college football, and now here. So again, my pick is up for college football. So if you buy, you can get the pick now. You can sign up for the class. That'll probably do one Friday night or something. I'll let you know when I'm doing it. It would probably be Friday for this because there's just the 2 games Saturday. Unless I start talking about next, I might post the other picks, but probably won't post them till like Sunday or Monday. And that's it. So I'm going to go eat. Nice to see you. I will talk to you soon. God, Luke, I thought you're my friend, but I now I don't know. Is Bobby really Bobby? Well, you're welcome, Pat. Enjoy dinner, and I'm grateful. Well, I'm grateful you're in the class. It's fine. That's what I'm here for. Now you can entertain the Singapore people and tell them what's real, because they don't have a clue, obviously. And go to those banks and have we can do a Teams meeting for the banks. All right, I will talk to everybody tomorrow. Same time, roughly about 2:00. Baseball, and 3:00 our economics class. So keep telling me what you prefer. I don't see much of a difference. We still talk 2.5 hours on economics. I did do my baseball, it was baseball games, and then the college football for this weekend. Beautiful Singapore coin. So does Singapore make coins? I'll have to check that out. All right, time for dinner. All right, I'll see everybody tomorrow. www.teaserking.com. Have a great night, everybody, and enjoy.